Hi, this is Jessica from Big Delicious Life. Today it's a little bit cold and rainy in Chicago, so we're going to be making some really delicious roasted red pepper and tomato soup, and later on I'm going to show you how to make the perfect grilled cheese. So in this bowl right here, I've gone ahead and prepped some vegetables. I've got 4 to 5, I think I put 5 in there, 5 vine-on tomatoes, 2 peppers that I've just gone ahead and quartered and removed the seeds, and 1 sweet onion that's been quartered. I'm also going to add to that just a handful of baby carrots because we had these in the fridge and they needed to be used. So to this, I'm going to add just a generous couple of glugs of olive oil. No reason to be stingy there with the olive oil. And a few big pinches of salt. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and add some fresh ground pepper. And then I'm just going to get in there with my hands and just toss this around and just make sure that all of our veggies are evenly coated. And then I'm going to take this, I've gone ahead and lined my sheet pan right here with parchment paper. Just dump these right here onto our sheet pan. Make sure that it's covered. And the tomatoes, I'm going to go ahead and just put them, make sure all of those are face down so we get those skins that are blistered on the back. And everything else, just make sure that it is coated and has enough space on there. So I've got my oven preheated here to 400 degrees. I'm going to pop these in the oven and let them roast for about 40 to 50 minutes until the skins are blistered and there's a nice char going on the vegetables. See you in about 40 minutes. Okay, so our veggies have come out of the oven. As you can see, they are nice and roasted. The skins are a little bit charred and they've cooled down for a few minutes. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just peel these skins off of all of the tomatoes and the peppers. You'll see that they just pull right off. Okay, so we've gone ahead and peeled off all of the skin. So I'm going to take this over to the stove. All right, so we'll get our saucepan going here. We're going to add in a couple more teaspoons of olive oil, tablespoons, I guess. And let's not forget this very important ingredient, white wine. I've already opened the bottle and tested it out. It's good. I'm going to let this olive oil heat up just a little bit. And then I'm going to add in my garlic. Just going to stir that around and let it hang out for a couple minutes. So we've got our garlic cooking up in here. And a little bit of olive oil. It's starting to smell really fragrant. It just fills the whole house with this delicious smell. So we don't want to cook this too much because garlic burns really easily and that's going to give it a bitter taste. So just when you're about to smell the garlic, you want to go ahead and just pour in a little bit of this vegetable broth. And then we're going to use about a half a cup of white wine. That might have been a little bit more than a half a cup, but you know, who's measuring? So we've got our garlic, some white wine, and our vegetable broth, just a little bit of it going on in here. This is the part where it could get a little bit crazy. So we want to peel up this parchment paper and just make like a little bit of a funnel with all of the juice and that veggie goodness. And we just want to tip it over into our pot, just like that. That was perfect. So we've got all of our roasted veggies, some vegetable stock, garlic, and white wine simmering in this. We're going to go ahead and just add the rest of this vegetable stock. Then we're going to go ahead and add in this fresh basil. So we're just going to stir that in. Doesn't that look beautiful? I just love the color. And then we're going to go ahead and put the top on. And we're gonna let this simmer for about 15 minutes. So while we've been waiting for our soup to cool down, I've gone ahead and enjoyed some of the rest of this wine. If you have a big fancy blender, or even better if you have an immersion blender, that would probably work better, but I don't have either one of those things, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use my NutriBullet. So what I've done is gone ahead and pureed the soup in 2 separate batches. It's really, really important before you do this that you wanna make sure that it cools down. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pop it in there, blend it up. Okay, that looks pretty good. You want to make sure that you wait until this is really cooled down to room temperature. That's extremely important, otherwise this could explode in your face and it could get really, really bad. So as you see, we've pureed it until it's smooth, and then we're just going to add it back into the pot. So we've gone ahead and added our pureed soup back into the pot here, and we're just reheating it. I'm gonna add just a spoonful of tomato paste. This is gonna just help deepen that tomato flavor and get a little bit of that extra red color in there. I'm also going to add about a tablespoon of brown sugar. So we used fresh tomatoes in this recipe, and that can be a little bit acidic, and this is just gonna help sweeten it up just a little bit. I'm gonna add just a little bit more fresh ground pepper in here. Stir that around. You kind of just want to taste throughout the process. I'm gonna add just a couple more pinches of salt in here. Season it up a little bit. Just gonna give this a taste, see how it's going. That's delicious. It's creamy, it's rich. You can really taste the flavor of the roasted vegetables, that basil, tomato. It's awesome. Okay, so we've got our roasted red pepper and tomato soup ready. Now I'm gonna show you how to make the perfect grilled cheese to go along with that. So I have a few slices of sourdough bread and some slices of Havarti cheese and butter. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and assemble my sandwich. I like to break up the cheese just to make sure that we have an even distribution going on here. That's very important to me. So just make sure that we get that crust to crust. Then we're gonna go ahead and put our other side of the bread on there. Now I've gone ahead and softened this butter. I've had it sitting out for the whole time. So it's perfectly spreadable. If you don't have it sitting out the whole time, you can go ahead and microwave it for about 10 seconds, but you don't want it to be completely melted. You just want it to be spreadable. And I'm gonna go ahead and spread this on. Make sure that we get it all the way to the edge. Just a thin layer here. Normally I'm all about overdoing it on the butter, but this is a circumstance in which we don't have to. So I'm gonna walk over here. Now I've got my cast iron skillet going, and I have it on low because we wanna make sure that the cheese melts and that our bread doesn't cook too quickly. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in there, buttered side down. And then, while that's in the pan, I'm gonna go ahead and butter the other side. Now some people, I think you've seen, just throw the butter in the skillet. That's the quickest way to get your bread to burn. So that's why I like to do it this way and just butter the bread while it's on low. This way we make sure that our cheese is all evenly melted and that our bread is perfectly toasted. So I'm gonna bring that up a little bit and just let it hang out until our butter bread is nicely browned and our cheese is all melted and gooey, and then we're gonna put it all together. Okay, so our grilled cheese has been hanging out here for a little bit on low. I'm just checking the bottom here. Looks like our bread is toasting up nice and evenly. The cheese is starting to get melty. So as you can see, the butter on this side is already melting. Just gonna flip it over just like that and let it hang out. This method, cooking it on low with the buttered bread and not putting it in the skillet, makes sure that our cheese gets all ooey gooey and perfectly melted inside. There's nothing worse with a grilled cheese than having perfectly toasted crusty bread and cold cheese in the middle. So this is the way to avoid that. As you can see, the cheese is like melting out of the middle. That's exactly what we want to see from a grilled cheese. Check the other side here. Oh yeah, that's looking perfect. I'm gonna pop this grilled cheese over here. I think we're gonna do something fun today. We're gonna do something a little bit different and make, hold on, get that cheese there in the middle. See that cheese pull? That's what we want. Oh yeah. And we're just gonna cut up this grilled cheese, make a couple of grilled cheese croutons to garnish our soup. How delicious is that? And we're gonna top it some of these grilled cheese croutons. I can't wait to try this. I am so excited. I've been craving this all day. The soup is delicious. It's creamy. Oh, I forgot one thing. Hold on. I want to add a little bit of extra creaminess to your soup. Just go ahead and hit it with a little drizzle of half and half right through there, through the middle. Go ahead, stir it around, give it a little swirl. It's going to cream up that soup nicely. I'm going to get that extra bite of grilled cheese right there. Chase it with a little bit of that white wine. So there you have it, our roasted red pepper and tomato soup and grilled cheese croutons. Thanks for watching My Big Delicious Life. I'm Jessica Lawson. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. See you next time.